You're listening to TRAKTRAIN Play.
Hi, my name is Matsukawa, also known as Sean Santana, and I'm from North Torrance, California. I have worked with Boogie on his latest project, Everything's for Sale. I have worked with Brockhampton on a record called Don't Be Famous. I've also worked with Skrillex, Lido, Kaiya Crawford, and Patrick Paige II. I've met artists through different walks of life, whether it was through going to school with them, whether it was having a friend of a friend refer them to me, somebody came across my stuff through Twitter or Instagram, or I contacted somebody via Twitter or Instagram, was a fan, very different ways. For Boogie at least, I met him on Twitter, and I produced for some people in his circle, including artists like Epic Must Die and Aston Matthews. For Aston kind of had a big amount of buzz locally at the time, and a lot of people were had their eye on him. I got kind of lucky with that placement. People started hitting me up. Boogie and I have been in contact since There's 48 Part 1, before that album actually. We've known each other for a while. We kind of lost touch for a little bit, just given, you get older, you grow apart. He signed his deal, he got bigger. I was doing other stuff with other artists. I accidentally ran into him at the park. We exchanged phone numbers, and he started hitting me up to come to the studio to work on this latest project. And yeah, that's how it kind of came about. For the Boogie situation, I was contacted by Boogie to just start coming to the studio to help work on this album. Ironically, none of the work I did coming over to the studio got placed on the record. It was all the work I did away from the studio. So what happened was, for Skydive at least, Skydive, the guitar parts and the bell part, the main parts in that song, the melody, the melodic elements that I contributed to, derive from a beat that I made for my album, my solo album initially, that got scrapped, but I still used it as background for a skit on my project. Boogie's engineer, Dart, shout out to Dart, listened to my project and asked me what that beat was in the background of this skit. And I told him, it's this beat I scrapped. I couldn't really write lyrics to it, nothing popped up in my head, but I still used it for the skit. And I was like, you think Boogie would like it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I sent over the stems for that beat, and they took what they wanted to take. It was the two guitars, the bell, the synth bell melody on it, with the drums on it and other elements. That became Skydive. For the Brockhampton record, it was a little bit different. I worked with them in person. I've known some of the guys for a while, and I found out that record was coming out the day of when it came out. One of the producers, Jabari, contacted me telling me that they planned to use it for the Beats One radio show that day. They had a compilation of songs that they weren't going to put out officially, for distribution and stuff, but they just wanted to put them out somehow, right? Don't Be Famous happened to be one of the songs on the episode. The first time I heard parts of Skydive were through Boogie's story and his live Instagrams, where he would be in the studio and he'd be playing some records and stuff. It was probably a year and a half before the album came out. That was the first time I actually heard him on the record. I could hear my guitar part in the back, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That's tight. I heard the final version of the record about 2 months before the album came out. As for No Warning, that situation came about because Dart, again, asked me if I could play some bass parts on the song. They pretty much had the whole record done already. Just asked me to add some bass parts to it. I did some passes, and then I added some guitar parts too that didn't make the cut. And then I found out, the first time I actually heard the record in its entirety was when it came out. So I didn't really know which parts were going to make it, which parts weren't. But that's the first time I actually heard the record. Don't Be Famous, again, I heard the final version of the record the day of on the Beats One show. So that was kind of exciting. This was Sean Matsukawa, also known as Sean Santana. You can check out my TRAKTRAIN page at traktrain.com/Sean Santana. Thank you.